Good evening, everybody. Welcome to War Commander Unshackled. The zombies are coming. Now, right before I go ahead and dive right into the show, I need to say a couple of things. As of pretty much tomorrow, I will be running the live event show tomorrow, but after that, I officially step down as lead producer of War Commander Unshackled and pass that duty on to the rest of the team. Venom will be the new lead producer, and the rest of the team will take care of it from there. Other than that, it's not been an easy choice. It's not been an easy thing for me to do. But at this point in time, my health and a lot of the personal shit that I have to take care of on a daily basis has gotten ahead of me. And that needs to change. As well as the specific policies that happen on Unshackled, I will continue to enforce them with an iron fucking fist. Because that's what I have done since day one, and that's what I'll continue to do. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not playing. I will still continue to play on a part-time basis, do events, and all the usual bollocks that comes with it. And I may get on every once in a while during an event show or something like that. And in the future, I may come back when I feel like doing so. But until then, there's no crying, no begging me to come back. You'll give the people the respect that they deserve. For Venom and Dutch and anyone else who takes on the roles of producing the shows after I step down. And that's pretty much basically that. And to add to another point, either watch the show or don't. Like the show or dislike the show. That is entirely the personal thing. But let me tell you something here for a minute. When your dislike bar becomes longer than your like bar, you know that something is wrong. Now, currently, on this particular show, the like bar far outweighs the dislike bar. And that's the way it should be. And that's the way it's always going to be. Because Unshackled is Unshackled for a reason. We do what we need to do. And we do what has to be done to make sure everything runs as clockwork. And that being said, we'll go ahead and dive right into the show and introduce my panel for this evening. We, of course, right on the end, we have Deja, we have the Dutchman, we have Fuck You, we have Godscope, sorry, my bad. Sorry, I got a little Canadian on you there, hey? We have Jack Sparrow, we have the King, we have the lovely Lady Warrior, we have the real Slim Shady, we have Mr. Lionel Richie himself, and of course, myself, the immortal, well, not so immortal anymore, Dr. Phil. So how are we, ladies and gentlemen?
Was doing good till you mispronounced my name, fuckhead.
Hey, Scoop.
Dive! Right in there, baby, right in.
Evening, ladies and gents.
How are y'all?
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
So, I assume you've all been in the forums.
What's that?
With this fucking giant ass post from CM Chris. It's almost as long as one of mine.
So did you just ask what the forums were? What, are you somebody in my team?
I'm not that low.
Hey, now.
Wow.
This file's got quick.
Fucking KS. God damn it, man.
All I need to do is if I can get some zoom zooms and some wham whams.
And you stay away from my Judy cakes. All right, let's go ahead and kick this off. And of course, with the overview, Commanders, the zombie horde has returned, with Kane being dead, apparently. Wait a minute, when did Kane die? How long's he been dead? I don't remember that happening. Okay.
Review the storyline from last season.
Oh, God damn it. I never pay attention to the story from a year ago.
I know.
There's like one guy who pays attention to the story, and he's not here.
He's not here. I know.
Yeah, I am.
Joel.
Shit. You
All
pay
right,
attention to the story. You tell me why Kane is dead.
Well, this event, the nightmare after this event marks the 1 year of me coming back to the game. I actually didn't participate in last October's event, so I don't know. But from everything up and after that point, I have a general
you're about
idea.
as useful as a chocolate fucking teapot, aren't you?
Wow. You know.
So,
back on track.
Operation Resurrection features a number of gameplay mechanics, including defense wave changes, single-use units, i.e. playable zombies, and zombie faction track missions. And they've even got a dive right in there. I like that. So the new gameplay mechanics, Kickstarter no longer want players to be blocked by defense waves, and now revamp them to be bonus missions. For all base defense missions, you no longer need to achieve victory to progress in the main track. You will progress to the next mission whether you're victorious or defeated, but will only receive the listed prize for a victory. All defense wave now award more XP than ever before, but must be completed in a single attempt. If you don't complete the wave, you don't get the XP payer or the thorium, but you still, progress in the next mission track. Now, there's a couple of questions that got poked up earlier on in the day, yesterday, or rather today, whatever. Fucking, I don't know. It's timing across the world is a pain in the ass. But earlier on in the day, for me at least, about starting a wave and then resetting it to try it again. If you want to do mine placements or place specific units in spots, that's still up in the air right now, because it's a question that I haven't been able to get a proper answer to. So if you start the wave and reset it to have a second attempt at the wave, what I read there is that's a no. So you would instantly pass over it and pass over the XP and everything else, which is pretty fucking shit, to be honest.
Yeah, from what I gathered, if you lose and they're defeated, the wave will jump you to the next. You don't get rewarded. If you stop the wave, you are basically conceding, in which case it gives you a defeat and you move on to the next track or the next mission, and you lose out on the payout. Now, the only saving grace is, I know you're not looking forward to this, but the repeat system of tokens. Okay, you lose out on a track here and there. You're not going to get the reward this round, but when you go to repeat and you set the entire event back up, you'll be able to progress. And then if you get through the second run of the event, you're going to get the reward that time.
Yeah.
Well, and keep an eye out on YouTube too, because there's a lot of players within the first few hours that run through it and have videos out.
Yeah.
Usually they don't have a video for the defense wave, and I think that's about to change. And it got said to me earlier on by, I can't remember who off the top of my head, and Facebook's being a colossal bastard again, so I won't go looking for that question right now. So, on top of that, we have the new single-use zombies, which we had a short discussion about before the show went live. But this is the first time in an event which you can earn and deploy single-use units in the form of playable zombies. Now, it's not the only time they've ever had a single-use unit. A long time ago when Kara came out, you could use Kara, I think, just like once an hour or something like that in a base. There you're out. Which is a thing. Well, was a thing. And then after that got released, nothing like that ever happened again. I mean, you get the bonus units from the bonus buildings, but that wasn't always a thing. And it is more times than now. But of course, these can only be used in battle once, and then they disappear from your inventory. But never fear, you can always unlock more. Oh boy. So some zombies can be unlocked in the event store, while some are only available as prizes for completed missions. Single-use units do not take up any storage space, but they do take up platoon capacity. They can be used in a ground platoon for any type except base defense missions. Once you deploy a single unit into the battle, they will fight until they die or finish the encounter, and then they will be gone. If you leave the battle and return, your single-use units will be fighting if they have survived while your attention was elsewhere. If you end the battle, the single-use units will be gone. So if you accidentally hit end attack and you've deployed 10 of them, bye-bye zombies. What happens if they survive the fight? It doesn't matter. If they've been deployed, then at the end of the battle, they're still gone. The zombies have a tendency to rot. Whose dog is that? I heard a dog.
That was mine.
Okay, damn you. Are all the zombies single-use? Yes, they are, and they cannot equip tech. However, there is zombie-themed tech that can be equipped to do non-zombie units, which can be built just like regular tech. See the new content section, which is a lot further down. The benefits relying on single-use units to win battles means fewer standard units take damage and require repair. If the units are used wisely, they will increase playtime and decrease downtime for repairs. The units will stay in your account after the event is over, and platoons with single-use units can still roam the world map. However, they are still single-use. Once you deploy them into battle, even outside battles of Operation Resurrection, and then they will disappear. Single-use units have the bright red outline in the inventory, so you can tell them apart from standard units. I mean, if you can't sort of see that they're not normal, then you're a bit of a dumbass.
Yeah, if you
And
can't
of course,
realize we don't have an actual zombie in our unit queue, but these things are zombies.
And of course, the section was written by a designer and not the CM. Which did make me laugh when I read that. So the mission details.
I'm sorry. That's why I like CM Chris. Like, he's got a sense of humor. He's to the point. He's strict, but like, don't go away, please.
He is still on the interim. He's not a permanent fixture. 3 tracks for Operation Resurrection, each with a series of missions that will increase in difficulty, blah, 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 blah. And the rewards should you achieve it. 16 attack missions, enemy Kane's forces, 8 defense missions, of course, and 3 story missions. Flashbacks, no player units can be used. Units are provided for you. That's much like the 120 from the last event. You couldn't really use your own shit. Well, you could, but yeah, one of those things. Of course, they've got the mission types all the way through here. Fire caches, bronze caches, fire, thorium. And the zombies start coming in at mission 10, which is the Walker zombie unit times 5. And just continues to go down, and rocket zombies up until the final wave at 26, which is Faction 6 mission unlocked plus your restart token. And it puts down here, he's actually listed all of the XP you get from them. This is only the main track. It's 522 from the attacks and 350 for the defense. That's 872,000 XP for the main track alone. And that doesn't include the faction track, which is all 3 faction tracks, Survivor Sentinel and Corpus. So the fire cache, 3 random pieces of tech, specifically for Hammer, Spartan, ZK, or Acolytes. The bronze cache, 4 pieces of bronze tech for Gen 1 unit. Silver cache, 3 pieces of silver tech for Gen 1 unit. And a gold cache, which is 2 pieces of tech for Gen 1 units. Walker zombies and rocket zombies. So that's that. The faction track, again, is the deployable units from any of the 3 factions, with the 6 attack missions being the Kane's Forces units. First attack is a Gen 1 unit and zombies. Gen 1 unit and zombies, Gen 1 unit and zombies. Again, zombie, walker, and rockets. But attack 4 gives you 3 technicals. Now, this is the new unit we'll go over a little later. and 7 technicals for Mission 5, and 15 training tokens for Attack Wave 6. Now, that's 1 token per unit. 1 token per Gen 1 unit. So that's that. And, of course, it's just highlighted down there at the bottom. And there's Zombie Track, which is the new one. And I forgot to add the 450k XP on top of the 872. So we're at just under 1.3 million at the moment. Well, it's like 1,272,000. No, wait a minute. No, that's right. I'm probably off, but fuck it. It's around the 1.2 million mark. Because I can't be asked to do all that shit right now. And of course, a zombie track with zombie units being rewards, but you can only use zombie units. You can only use the single-use zombies in that particular base. Now, the amusing thing is with this one, it's probably one of these. It's an optional track to take for the XP, but you will gain extra zombies and different zombies for doing them. So the Zombie 5, Zombie 10, the runner zombies, which are the stupid fast bastards, and the boss zombies, which are the big fucking hulking fuckers. Of course, the zombie unit, there's a single-use zombies. Runners, single-use, single-use, single-use. Now, I'm skipping Chris's fucking version of the event store, because mine is better. And it's really hard to read in black and white. But we'll go over the new content prior to me going into the event store.
Thank you for that list, by the way. That's nice.
No worries. Me and Dobbo worked on that with me earlier on this morning.
Nice job.
So it was good, and I appreciate him for that too. So of course, the standard zombie units that spawn a crawler on death. The walker zombies, which are bigger and tougher than the usuals. Now, the rocket zombie is the dedicated anti-air zombie, which is the first one of its type. I haven't seen one of those before. The runner zombie, which is the fast-moving melee zombie, and the boss zombie, the tanky high-health zombie that deals heavy area of effect damage. Now, the technical. Now, he's gone into quite a bit of detail here, which is good, which is a lot more than we're used to. Faction is a survivors. It's Gen 2. It's vehicle. He hasn't specifically said what it is, so I'm assuming it's a light vehicle because it's a fast mover. It does sustain damage, similar to a Howler. And at level 10, the jerry-rigging talent. Reduced repair time on a full platoon of technicals from 9 hours to 8 hours. So if you max them out, you gain an hour less repair time. That's pretty shit, perfectly honest. That's not great. I'd prefer something else, but we're going to get what we're going to get, I suppose. Now, turret customization. The technicals turret slot on its schematic is unlocked right from level 1. You can equip 2 alternate turrets to your technicals, Burning Man or Rocket Man. All players have these components. They do not need to be earned or unlocked separately from the technical. The Burning Man component increases overall DPS and changes the damage type to fire, but prevents the technical from targeting air. The Rocket Man component increases overall DPS and changes the damage type to burst, but prevents the technical from targeting ground. It is highly versatile, has 525 range, natural immunity to concuss and shock, and shoots continuously once in range at a single target, and is move and shoot. The upcoming tech, the Arctic Tire, the immunity to cryo, grip tires, improves turning radius, streamlined plating is resistance while moving, reinforced plating is resistance while stationary, corrosive rounds applies corrosion status, and bunker buster rounds applies busted status. And that is the new unit. I mean, I quite like the idea of the turret customization, because now survivors finally have the quote-unquote dedicated anti-air if you equip the turret in the right way.
I'm curious to see what its damage output is.
Well, we'll have to find that out tomorrow. Unfortunately, we won't know that now, but we will find that out tomorrow. And of course, we're getting a brand new zombie missile. Oh dear. Instant hit, cannot be shot down, infects everything in the blast radius, and produces friendly crawlers on impact. No visible sprite is launched. The zombies just pop up wherever you aim. 5 levels, which can be upgraded in the defense lab. We simply wanted a new missile, but okay, that's what we're going to get. New tech for the Warwick, the steering knuckle. And it's improved turning radius and acceleration by 30%. Anti-zombie serum bundle. Oh, Christ. For Liberators, Spartans, and Acolytes, goes in the relic slot and makes the unit resistant to zombie attacks up to 75%. Toxic Offender bundle, Liberator, Spartan, and Acolytes in the relic slot again. And on unit, well, on death, unit becomes an allied runner zombie. And of course, we've got all of the zombifiers for the heroes. Weaver, Sunder, Ardra, Roland, Orin, and Nyx. And again, it goes in the relic slot. And the shot supply of infected status, which gives chance to make friendly zombie on death. So we're getting new zombifiers. And the Demon Dog Warpaint. The Warpaint does not modify stats. It is cosmetic only. And event trophy E69, which is, there's no picture, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to have to wait until tomorrow to see a picture of the trophy, unless somebody can get hold of one from Kixeye themselves, which does kind of blow. I would like to see a picture of the zombie. And of course, the gameplay mechanic reminder, defense waves are now bonus missions and the single-use zombies. And of course, Resurrection begins on the 10 a.m. PDT on October the 19th and ends 10 a.m. PDT on October the 25th. So that's that guy out of the way. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into the event store here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because that's a little bit small. Oh, fucking spreadsheets. I hate spreadsheets. So the event store right now is as follows. The trophy, 800. Technical is 250 thou. And the technical training tokens are 400k apiece. The zombie missile is 500k. The steering knuckle is 400k. The anti-zombie serum bundle. Now, I don't know if that's a single-use thing or multiple. It's probably going to be a single use at 90k. You can buy 10 melee zombies for 10,000 XP. You can buy 100 of them for 90k XP. You can buy 100 of them for. You can buy a rocket zombie for 40k, a toxic offender bundle for 30k, war dog for 45, the war dog paint for 66, hornets and yellow jackets at 125, the zombie fire for the heroes at 600k. The Cyclops has hit the store at 225k. The deflection tiles for the war rig is at 400k. Where have I missed? I've lost my space. Okay, Elite War Rig Part 100k. Now, this has recently been changed because it was 300 and it's been changed to 380 for 4 War Rig parts for the Elite War Rig. Of course, you need 40 of them to finish up the wave. Point defense at 100k. Liberators at 12,500. 5 Liberators at 50k. Spartan ZK at 40. 4 Spartan ZKs at 128. That's not bad. An Acolyte for 65. 4 Acolytes for 208. Bonesaw at 70k. Detonators at 27k. 5 Detonators at 110. Disruptor 112. Hammer 112. Apollo 225. Fury 140, Hades 160, Phalanx 185, Purifier at 280, Seeker at 225, Vindicator 185, Valiant at 140. Now, I actually me and Dobber took the time to mark down which tech is which for which specific unit, which Kixeye don't do, and they should. The articulated rotor and rigid rotor at 17.5. Detection buffer trajectory CPU at 28, EMP payload, flashbang payload at 6,500 XP, pyro shell, shredding shells 28 thou, anti-armor rounds, C4 rounds 3125, dog tags and spike collar 8750, Heavy fuel and lightweight fuel, 37,500. Deep treads racing treads at 100k. That's a bit on the steep side. But all right. Cab spoiler, laminated spoiler, 46 each. 10k for ballistic and heavy impact armors. Overhead armor and side skirts at 56k. Heavy plated armor and thick plated armor for the Valiant is 50k. Deflection armor, resistant armor, Vindicators at 46. The Dominus Rail and Magnus Rail at 16k. The mine resistant plate and spaced armor at 70k. The legendary units, other than all three of the legendary units are 225 each. The component bundles are 250, 210, and 210, and singular components at 50k. The weapons lab at 300k, 9 hours 140. Chemical silicon cores 50k, and rounding it off with the sector goal points at the 500k XP. And that, as they say, gentlemen, is that.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm going for as much tech as I can get for this event. It looks like the way to go to me.
It does. There's a lot in there.
There's a lot in there, and it's all tech you need.
I just have to say to the people in charge of pricing units, when it comes to the bundle packages of 4 tech, thank you for not making it 1 for 100 and 4 for 400. At least now it makes sense that you're getting a bit of a discount, because I hated that.
Well, in theory, there, if you're looking at it, you're still looking at 40 parts for the Elite Warwick, which I still won't bother with. I don't want the Warwick because it's crap.
Oh, that's not the point. My entire point is 100k for 1, less than 400k for 4. I didn't care if it was 399k, 999. But as long as it's less, because there's no sense in having a 4-part button if it's the same as just clicking 1 part 4 times. That's part of my Achilles heel.
I understand all too well. So. It's just one of those things that I really thought was not necessary. I mean, if you're gonna, it saves you a whole bunch of clicking, but if you're gonna put a 4-parter in there, you gotta make it cheaper. And it's funny, really, seeing it now and seeing it when I put it down earlier on, because in the forums when I read that originally, it was 300.
Yeah, you said
380. So somebody's got the updated information and updated as and when, and has obviously updated that to 380, which is bloody annoying. But I thought maybe I could score some extra XP in there. But it's funny, the maths guy who's actually not here at the moment, Mr. Darber Phoenix, actually sent me an image earlier on that I will get up in a moment when the fucking thing decides it's going to work. Come on, you bastard. And we'll bring it out. And he's actually put together a list of the new tech that's in there alongside some other stuff. And if I very quickly... I need to stop that for a second. Switch over to the other screen because it's in one of those picture documents. He's actually put together a list of all the XP gained during the waves, the zombie mission, the faction waves, and all of the new stuff that's in the event. The bundles, the zombie fires, the dog wall paint, all of the zombie stuff. And that's only one singular thing rather than a bunch of them. So if you only need one, great. If you need a bunch of them, well, shit. And there you go. The total XP needed for all of the new stuff, including the trophy, is just under 5.5 million, which is five runs, complete runs, and without defense waves. It's 4 runs with all the defense waves, but it's 5 runs without. I mean, if you're
that's also... I'm sorry, I was just going to say that's also without the 10% XP boost you can buy for 10 gold.
Yes, it is. And he's not listed the technical in there for a reason. If you manage to finish it 5 times, you'll end up with 50 technicals. So there's no reason to buy them from the store. I'm just going to throw that part out there.
Nor would there be the zombies themselves, the one-use zombies. There's no.
Nor would there be the one-use zombies. I mean, if you would actually need to go and buy any, then you're either not doing something right, or you're wasting them. Because I honestly, unless you want to stock up on them for shits and giggles, because they are practically unlimited, because they don't require storage space, that I think is both a good and a bad idea. And the last thing I need to see is for this shit to be exploitable. And for people to go ahead and do whatever they're going to do with these particular units. And the game has gone into downtime, I believe. I don't know if that's 100% accurate, because I haven't been bothered to check. I will go check in a second. I believe the game is down for maintenance. Yes, it is. Good. So we'll get to this week's update notes relatively shortly, I hope. Oh, they're already there. Well done, Chris. I don't have to roast you in the first 10 minutes of the show. But, of course, I mean, is there anybody got any suggestions for the what you should pick up from the prize list or anything like that? Anybody?
No, I think what Dava listed there is actually probably what most people will need since they're not offering certain tech, like they put the Omega, Phantom out there for sale, and some of us bought it and we don't have the tech for it, so that would have been nice to have that on the price list. But
I say get it all. Get as much as you can of everything.
Agreed.
And remember to use your repeats for the lower levels that can't get any higher than a certain spot without taking a massive amount of damage.
Well, it's one of those things. Every event you have the curve. Now, that curve is far steeper than it should be. It should be incremental, but half the time you get to a point halfway through where they start ramping it up. And that's the kind of shit that pisses me off.
Well, I'm going to use this event to get more tech, to fill up my numbers of tech, and I want more phalanxes because I think phalanxes overall are good units, so I want more of them.
The technical looks like a fairly good unit, and we have, excuse me, the downtime and release notes for today, which is of course Opera's Resurrection. To the dedicated post, which we've already gone through. The payouts for the zombie invasion have been paid out. If you didn't get it, send in a ticket. If you don't have support, tough shit. And that's the order of that. Drop rates for the unique fire tech have been increased in the Ryokai bases across the board. Bit late for that since they're going away tomorrow. Running out of deployable units will no longer result in a defeat. Battles can now be depleted using missiles, mercenaries, or single-use units. For more details, see the dedicated post in Operation Resurrection, which we've already gone to. The text description for Weaver's price in the barracks was incorrectly listed at 56 million thorium. It has now been corrected to 9 million. Okay. Small amount of users were experiencing an issue where their attack load would load indefinitely. This issue has been fixed. Occasionally, workshop and research quick timers would fluctuate. This has been corrected to show a consistent timer in all instances. Now, that's bullshit. That last one is a crock of shit. If I see that again after tonight, yeah, it's not going to go well. Because that fucking fluctuating timer is the entire reasoning why Snow Bear is a thing again.
Mm-hmm.
And it really gets on my fucking nerves. Is that it? I half expected more. It's like reading a post from Sulaco.
Yeah.
No, it's prettier though.
It's prettier, but
More dramatic.
It's more than 5 lines.
That's pretty fair. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
points are in line. They're not
6,
cascading.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 lines.
Yeah,
So
and you don't need to take blood
so
pressure medicine after you read it.
Yeah. It's almost 4 times better than Sulaco. Just kidding, Sulaco. You're okay
He
at times.
will never have to sit through these shows again, so I don't blame him.
He hate watches us, you know it.
Oh,
He's out there in his happy land going, yeah, fuck them guys.
Yeah, fuck you guys. You never know. He might turn up one day just to come and tell us all to fuck off.
And I would respect every single letter of his comment.
I would too, and I think it would be absolutely hilarious.
I think so as well.
And fuck this game, and fuck Kixeye, and fuck you all. Good night, everybody.
CM's
I wish
the
the CMs. Yeah, I wish the CMs could do stuff like that. Like if someone was acting like an absolute idiot, they could just straight up reply and say, "Stop being stupid."
Some of the older
There was one that did that.
Some of the older CMs that have been around would agree very much so. This one, the newer CMs tend to be a little bit more on the reclusive side, and in the last couple of years, the only one who's ever gone outrightly to roast somebody in forums was Doom Rooster. And I watched him do it as that post was going on, and he absolutely ripped that guy a second and third asshole.
mm.
And it was the most glorious thing I'd ever seen. I mean, Doom Rooster's always been a bit of a dick, but for that reason and that reason alone, but for crying out loud, that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Fixed the 50s in 24 hours, still haven't fixed the leaderboard in weeks. Yeah, no shit. That leaderboard's still busted.
Mm-hmm.
Has been busted for a very long time. Will probably remain busted for the foreseeable future because it's just not on. It's a visual thing.
Yeah,
it's not priority. If it's rather than having a game running than having a leaderboard, I think we'd all agree having the game running would be better.
Agreed.
Yes.
But still, it sucks.
It does, and it's inconvenient. But like Data said, if that's the biggest issue in the game right now, I'm okay with that.
True.
I'm okay with it too. I don't like it, but I can accept it.
Yeah.
So as per the event, of course, recommendations from the panel would be nice. Anyone got any recommendations?
Oh, I just want to touch on a comment from the forums. A lot of people are up in arms about the one-use zombies and reflecting a disconnect or getting timed out or something happening. The point I have to make to that is it is said that if the zombies deployed, if the one-use zombies deployed, and you leave the base for any reason, you're disconnected, for example, it will continue to fight on its own using the in-game AI. So if you can get back on and it's still alive, you'll then regain control of it. It'll continue to go. You're not going to lose it. So as long as you don't terminate the attack, you'll be okay. And I know it was something that stressed people, not knowing full well. Yeah, it's going to put you at a disadvantage if you get disconnected, and we're all probably going to suffer through this as the event progresses because of, the numerous people logging in when they're ready to start playing. But at least if it holds out, if the zombies that you pick, and once we get the chance to play with them and find out what is the strongest one, what is the most tactical, if you can adjust your gameplay and pick what you need for each base, pick the heavy duty, strong ones in case you're having those issues where it's DCing a lot for you. And run your cleaners and run your, refreshers and all that kind of stuff.
Jump up and down on one foot, sacrifice your firstborn.
Sacrifice your firstborn, yes, exactly. But
and hope to God you can get in less than 5 minutes.
Oh, that never happens.
Yeah, I know.
but just keep that in mind before you have a heart attack. It is just a game.
The funniest thing in the world with performance issues like that. I have a very expensive rig, and I play a lot of expensive games with a lot of high-end visuals. And I can play those games with next to no issues. Except War Commander. I can go into my Steam library, bring any game I wanted up, and play it with no problem. Try and play War Commander, load the game, crash, reload the game, red box, reload the game, crash, reload the game, red box, reload the game. And maybe on the 4th or 5th attempt, maybe in the 6th attempt, if I'm lucky, I'll get in. And then I'll hit 3 res bases in DC. Or it'll freeze. Or just won't work.
My favorite one is when it tries to load the game and it crashes with a red box save error. What are you saving? You're trying to load.
Exactly. It's what is it? 2002 clock sync error?
That's one of them in 2231, I think it is.
I don't know what I've not seen 2231, but the favorite one at the moment for me is the 2002 clock sync, because that makes no fucking sense. My PC clock is synced to Windows. It is synced to the entire Windows fucking time thing. So that's the atomic clock that Microsoft use, which is the most accurate clock on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
What's the fucking point? If my clock is out of sync, then there's something wrong with Kicksai's clock. Stupid fucking thing.
Now, so somebody asked if why we still have Warpath honors showing on our bases. Could that be because we are going to have Warpath again at some point?
Warpath is going to be a thing. They say quarterly, or once every couple of months.
So it's every 3 months for people who don't know what quarterly is.
Every 3 months, so I gotta wait 3 months before I can finally do it. Damn.
But for the most part, people keep the honors on bases. Basically, is like a dick measuring contest.
Oh, well, I'm female, so yeah, never mind.
Tit measuring in that
me. I still, okay. Then my Warpath equals. Yeah, okay, I'm good.
At any rate, the whole thing is anybody who really forced themselves up over the 11,000, 12,000 mark, there was very little point to it. I gotta say, I'll come clean here. That event is right in my wheelhouse. I've played games exactly like that, and realistically, knowing that there was going to be 2 separate runs of it with an interim in between, I knew not to go for the top rank right off the bat. Hold yourself back in the first round, put yourself in a mid-range position, let the other players build up, and leave yourself breathing room to attack players that are at a higher level and have accrued honors. The people that went in there at level 45s and level 46s and smashed a whole bunch of low levels and got their honors up to 8 or 10 grand, and then all of a sudden, the second round comes through and they're crying like little babies that now they have to hit 46s and 47s because if they try to hit a 40, they don't get anything.
Yeah.
Well, that's your fault. I was 44. I hit the 38s and the 40s so that it left me with the 42s and the 43s and the 45s that had gained honor that were still within my wheelhouse. They were a little bit lower than me, but I got a sizable amount, at least enough to continue to gain honors throughout the second tier.
Now, was there any point? And I apologize because I've been out of game for 3 weeks, and I went out of game just as the time Warpath started. But I managed to pop on and get res, and I saw somebody that had 41,000 Warpath points. Is there any point to that many points?
No.
Did it give them anything special?
Other than the "my dick's bigger than yours" comment, no, there really isn't.
Let's put it this way. I had 10,000 and I think 300, and I've got the same prize as that guy with 40,000. So,
Okay.
and I didn't coin anything. I didn't lose my hair. I didn't go back and forth crying about how somebody hit me and took 800 honors from me in one hit. Didn't bother me.
KS had
better
another
than
account on
Mark Gates did a
YouTube that
big
was
one.
named after his extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was just curious because like I said, I happened to, I was able to get the game on my phone and was able to get a few resources, and I saw that and I'm like, what was that something special? Because like I said, I really didn't know. I tried to keep up on pages and everything the best I could, but
No, this event
I really
was
didn't know.
The
this was
highest
a
division
tier base.
was the diamond division, and you needed 10k honor points or more to
Okay.
get the highest payout.
I think I settled
Yeah.
12 and ended up with like just over 11.
Okay. Well, that's good to know for the next time when I should be able to play it the next time. So.
Yeah, this last warpath, I will say, as a higher level, it was much more difficult to get a lot of honor if you didn't coin a lot. And it was a lot easier for lower levels, especially if they had the Herald. Like, there's a guy in a friendly sector of mine who is a level 38 that had a level 21 Elite Herald. And he was going around and he had 40,000 honor.
Wow.
Why?
Wow.
Just because he could. He was going around and there was a bunch of undefended 44s, 45s, 46s in this sector, and he went around and flattened every single one of them with the Herald, and he was over 40,000. It was fucking retarded because he'd hit as a 38 or whatever he was, he'd hit a 45 and he'd get 900 honor.
Wow.
I mean, when you're higher up, that kind of ratio to payout is a thing. I mean, it should be adjusted before the next warpath. I understand why they didn't do it this time around, but it should be adjusted for the next one across the board, not just for lows or mids or the mid to highs or the mid 40s, but for the high end guys as well, who are going out and hitting some serious fucking shit, who have to hit the serious stuff because, and it, like Champ and Lai, for instance, who are at the 46, 47, they're looking for 46, 47 just to break even on some bases.
Oh, wow.
If they did do a more capped structural system, like we used to see with the 4 up, 4 down, and new level kind of thing, that would be fine. There's ways to work. There's ways to work it. I mean, there's no way when you get up to high levels where you're going to get big amounts. And the thing is, you get to a point where you're within that tier, and then it's just a matter of holding your own, not losing too much.
I was at 41. I'm level 41. So it's the prime pasture for me to go out and smash a bunch of shit with a Herald.
Yeah.
That's easy to do. That's the lazy way to do it. When you've got on the guys on the opposite end, when I was heat bubbling a whole bunch of shit, and where was I? I think I was in sector 39. A 46 came and hit me, flattened my base, took absolutely nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, that is the rub. That is the bad
And
part.
at that point, I was already at the 10k mark, and he came over, bubbled my base, and got nothing.
Well, I got to be honest, it didn't bother me too much. I'm a 46. I don't say it was too easy. I had to work for it, but once I knew I had to hunt down higher levels, like 45, 46, I came to the 10k honor points pretty quick.
It's an interesting divergence to go through. The adjustments that can be made could be minute, but in order for everyone to be sort of paid equally, rather than this crap that you're seeing with 30s being right at the top of the board where they don't belong. To be perfectly honest, they don't belong there. The guys on the Legion, the invasion leaderboards are the highest levels. The guys on the XP leaderboard are the highest levels. Usually discounting those cunts that bank in for me a lot. again, those are the guys that are usually right at the top. And the C's, 30s on the top of the Warpath leaderboard wasn't encouraging.
No, I agree. And like you say, I mean, speaking to it, the issue with the dead bases, the issue with the retired players, the out players who haven't been in game to upgrade. Like you said, the simple players you can go in, and a 30 can hit a 45 who has been out of game for months and whose base is relegated to that of a 36 or 32, and can take it with little to no effort, especially with the new equipment we have, a Juggernaut or a Herald.
The Jug, the Herald, the Blackout, the old Titan.
Yeah. That was definitely something that for the next iteration of this has to be seriously looked into. And they do, like they've stated, have plans to try to rectify a lot of the dead bases, the out of game player bases. But they have months to figure it out. Hopefully they'll get it sorted.
I hope so. There's
Well,
a couple of months between now and the next Warpath, at least on the calendar.
Yeah.
If they go by what they said.
I felt kind of sorry for all the farmers and the non-PvP players because they were the easy targets and they got screwed over this Warpath. And I think with the next amount of the next when they introduce the next Warpath, I think they will get nightmares again.
They may get nightmares again, but I mean, it's been said by numerous people on numerous occasions. This is a war game.
Yeah, it is.
It's not Farm Commander. It shouldn't be Farm Commander. It's turned into bloody Farm Commander with the amount of shit you got to do all the time. But it's supposed that the core nature of the game is and always has been PvP.
Well, I always suck it up, Buttercup. It's just a game.
David, you're the biggest fucking farmer of us all. Shut your goddamn dirty whore mouth.
He's the only player in War Commander that puts on camo-colored overalls.
Wait a second. How much honor do I have? Over 10.
I don't know.
Honor.
Over 10. And for me, I'm usually in tier 3 gold or tier 2 usually. So don't go there.
That's a lot of level 20s that you got to hit to get up that high.
One on one.
Wait a minute now, guys. Come on.
I just come and hit Godscope, so it's all right.
The way the game's been laid lately.
Keyword being hit.
Yeah,
all of us have been having to do thorium out our yin yang. Come on now.
Thor out the yin yang, metals out of the ass, fucking got these bloody 50 bases for 10 hours a day trying to drop whatever. I just fucking broke and bought the text that I wanted. Fuck that drop rate bullshit.
Quitter.
Honestly, if it's easier for me to buy it, I'll buy it. Farming is something I cannot stand. I hate it. I always have.
The only one, in my opinion, that was even really worth it was the Blackout tech, and I bought that with metals.
I mean, my blackout's not going to get done for another 2 days, but when it is, that tech will go straight on it.
It gives you 6 additional drones. So that's 12 drones flying around. And those drones are amazing.
Come on, Phil. Coin your blackout so you and I can do that one-on-one. I mean, mine's only going to 14 now.
Oh,
mine's going to level 2, so you can shut up.
mine will be 8 in like 3 days.
I'm not getting the war rig. The war rig is a giant piece of shit.
No, it's not.
Not when it's
I will.
Not when it's Omega.
Prove you wrong. I will prove you wrong, Doc.
It's suicide units. The war rig is a suicide unit.
No, I'm telling you.
I'm with Doc on this one. My war rig's level 1 and it's staying level 1 until I have nothing else to upgrade.
I will show you a level 32 war rig that will eat 10 phalanx coming at it.
Yep.
I can go ahead and tell you now.
I am not, for the life of me, spending 3 months to fucking upgrade it.
Yeah, that's the only thing I have to say. I'm with Fa on this. It is a monster when it's upgraded, but I will not coin its upgrades. I will sit out the long duration up.
Mine is up to
upgrade path.
34, going to 35, and it is a fucking monster.
Well, because I'm going to sit out the long upgrade path, it's just something that's going to
fall to the wayside.
Well,
by the time you get there, it's not going to be what it is.
Exactly. Like a lot of units in the past, by the time I get to a point where it's a viable unit, it's already been passed up by the next thing, and I go into the next flavor of the month.
After this event is over, we go into the next cycle of Shadow Ops.
Mm-hmm.
None of us know what is coming next.
Yeah.
Is it going to take
released by now? There's been something told about it or something, and we haven't heard shit. So it's kind of it would be a big.
I think it's going to be another air unit because we had 2 back-to-back ground units, and then the air.
I think it's going to
that would not be.
It's going to be a ground sentinel a ground survivor unit. I think it's going to be a big ground survivor unit. I really do.
I think it'll be sentinel.
It's going to be a ground survivor unit or an air survivor unit. It's going to be a survivor. You got to think there is no big survivor unit.
Corpus ground. We've got a corpus ground. We've got a sentinel ground and sentinel air.
Yeah.
We got survivor ground with no survivor air, and we've got corpus air with no corpus ground.
Well,
so you're looking at either one of the two.
They can go Omega. We have nothing that can go with survivor.
Yeah, the joke
Blackout don't go Omega yet, but it will. It will.
I'm gonna lean
the next 3 events it'll go Omega.
Yeah, I'm gonna lead towards them if they introduce a new unit. It might be the Corpus Ground because at the moment, at least from my understanding, Corpus CCs are the predominant base right now for faction troops.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that being the game of analytics,
I think the Phalanx are just fucking killer. The Phalanx
are Spartans are a killer in the bunkers with the tech.
But I will say with the pattern that's gone on, they went ground, air, ground, air, ground, air. And so with the Blackout being a Corpus, the next one's going to be ground. Well, the only faction that doesn't have a ground one is Corpus. Right. So I'm thinking it's going to be the ground Corpus. And then the Shadow Op after that will be the air Survivor.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Survivor has the War Rig. The War Rig Survivor.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yep.
You're right. All right.
A ground Corpus Shadow Op unit with that Corpus buff is going to be nasty.
So it's going to be air Survivor or ground Corpus. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Good call.
But because this last Shadow Op was an air unit and the one before it was ground, I'm thinking it's going to be the ground Corpus. And then after will be the final one of this set, of this season or whatever, will be the Survivor air.
Huh.
It'll be one or the other.
It'll be one or the other, and that's entirely speculative right now.
Yeah, it's not a...
They haven't given any hints.
For all we know, for all we know, it could be the Omega Legion.
It could be Mercs.
Or Omega Vanquishers.
Not touching the
Mercs.
Elite War Dog.
Omega Vanquishers or Omega Hover Tanks.
Omega Jackrabbits.
Omega Spectre!
Ooh, that'd be nice.
You're all a bunch of idiots.
Omega Archangel.
Get the fuck
You
out.
have to go Elite before you go to Negative.
700.
No, it's got to be the Omega Colossus.
No, it's going to be a brand new unit, guys. It's not going to be nothing revamped. It's going to be a brand new unit.
Well, no, everything's fucking reskinned anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to have a new name.
I mean, honestly, this new ground unit, this technical, in my opinion, the technical is nothing more than
a brand new Howler.
In my opinion, to me, it's the legendary Humvee that they didn't put out because the legendary units fell on their fat asses. That's what it's a Humvee. It's the Humvee. Okay, think of it. It's the Humvee. It's a light vehicle. They've added to it the idea that they lost with the Warhorse, with the ability to have a 360-degree turret. I mean, the Warhorse would have been an excellent unit tactically.
If it didn't
suck, we had fun
so
with
much.
It when it came out. It sucks. Yeah, if it didn't suck so much, because the biggest thing that held it back was, in my opinion, one, not just its stats, because its stats did not hold up with the new units coming out with far better DPS and far better health compared to it. But the ability to control it in a game where all the other units are so much faster and fast-paced, it tried your patience and your ability to target and switch and strife fire and do other things. It doesn't hold up in the game with things like Phalanx. It just doesn't.
And it had to turn.
I think
Well,
the
you
war
didn't have to turn it. I mean,
trying to mix the mega tank and the elite hovers.
There you go. But so this is just like I said, just my opinion. It's basically a legendary version of a Humvee, without calling it the legendary Humvee, because I think they're steering away from the bad press that they get trying to release more legendary units. They didn't hold water, but they're still going to.
Hola, Roberto.
Well, I mean, the legendary units were a flop, and that's why they stopped doing them after 3.
Yeah.
I mean, they were a good idea at the time, but bases progressed far faster than they expected them to.
Mm-hmm.
And without a lot of shit to go with them.
Yeah, they'd have to tech the crap out of them.
Oh, yeah.
They'd have to have buffs out the ass to bring them up to par with even some of the mid-level units that we use.
I started my days back in the Mega Tank days, and if you had Mega Tanks, it was see ya, wouldn't want to be you.
Level 6.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, back then, oh Lord, you bring in, even one squad of Mega Tanks, see ya.
You started off with level 6 challengers, then they brought in the mega tanks, and the level 6 mega tanks were the shit. Then they took everything to level 10.
Which
Well,
took
and
you
it's like
3 months.
the legendary units. That Hellfire would be so much better if its missiles couldn't be shot at.
Yeah.
It would be
What was the nature of the Hellfire in the original days? The missiles would be shot down.
Yeah, but for how much space it takes, you can have 4 of them in a PvP tune. That's it.
They need to make the missiles have a lot more health, because a bunker of libs shoot the missiles down like there ain't no thing.
I will give you a reasonable counter to their ability to get shot down and still keep them viable. Don't make them healthier. Allow them to continue to be shot down, but increase the fire rate where you're basically overwhelming the incoming. You'd still be able to tactically defeat them if you put enough units up shooting missiles.
And I wish they would follow around. I don't know if they do or not, but I wish they would follow the old template of the Hellfires. I don't know if it was elites or regular ones, but when you got it to level 10, maybe this was the Hellstorms.
But
when you got them to level 10, they would split apart and they would fucking kill everything in that.
The split
Hellstorms. Hellstorms. I loved Hellstorms.
That was like the original burst damage. I mean, you shoot the missiles and all of a sudden it spread out. It was like
that was your bread and butter.
Burst. Wait a minute, I can do this.
That was based on cluster bombs. That was based on
first time I ever seen that. I was like, I gotta get it.
Well, another way, instead of making the missiles untargetable, lower their damn space size so you can fit more than 4 of them in a damn tune.
I wish they'd make them something other than PvP, because I loved playing with the Hellfires back in the day.
I mean,
I wish there were something other than PvP.
We're going to find a use for them unless we can use them. And if we can't use them in PvE bases, we're not going to figure out a way to use them in PvP.
Exactly. If we can't take them out and use them in other places, you can't. Like, I'm going to go practice on somebody's base with my legendary Hellfires. I think not.
Well, honestly, that's one of the things.
Go-Go Bar didn't give a damn decent test either, so you're screwed there too.
Speaking of legendary units, does anybody mess with the new laser tank? Is it any good whatsoever?
No.
The Cyclops?
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
The Cyclops? Yes, they're good.
I would say they might be helpful.
Okay, they're not great.
They're good when they're level 10 or higher and you use them as base defender.
I seen level 14,
a real nasty surprise.
5. I seen level 14s get ate up in a Thorium 65. They took like 5 hours of damage.
Yeah, that's the big problem. They are not a unit that you're gonna just use the coin.
If I see somebody with Cyclops in their base, I am smiling.
Yeah,
depends.
with any of them. And Manny, to answer your question, we're talking a little bit event, and we're talking a little bit of legendary units, and we're talking just a little bit of everything. We're just all over the place tonight.
I mean, we've gone over the event already. If you need to go over anything in the event, go back to the start of the show.
Yeah, we try to do
an hour ago.
45 minutes. Yeah, we try to do 45 minutes to an hour of the notes, and then
Yeah, and then from there it's whatever we want.
General bullshitting.
But that's what they got to do with these legendary units. They got to make them overall any use. They can't just be PvP. Because I'll sit there, use something, be like, man, I got to try that in PvP. I'll see a way to do something. I'll be like, oh, I'm doing that in PvP next time I hit this.
You see, the problem is outside of when you first start the game and you get the original, little Ruby telling you this, and this, and you go through your little side tracks. Outside of that, PvE is the only way you, as a individual player without a group of friends, without any other prior knowledge of this game, that's how you learn what units do, what their ranges are, how to use them, how to learn to bait, how to learn to use certain tactics. So that becomes your training coach. The problem is, this game is trying so desperately, at least it was. Now it can back off a little bit because it does have PvP events like we just went through. But the whole core to this game is fighting other players around the world. I mean, that's what this game is. It's a PvP game. So I can understand everybody's point, and certainly mine is having a unit that's specifically locked to only being used against the computer is bullshit. It really is. I mean, what's the point of having a unit if you can't use it in every aspect? Events, PvP, PvE, both sides of the coin, and in a certain aspect, in my own opinion, base defense. I will say that. But the way that Kixeye was trying to use these units was specifically to do what you said earlier, Lady Warrior, which is use them in tests against your friends. Go in and use them because they're PvP only to get you guys to smash up each other a little bit and have fun with something that does repair quickly and would tempt people who otherwise wouldn't attack other players to have some fun and attack other players, and that would then get them to take their other units, create PvP platoons with them, and then go out and jump around the world map, jump to other sectors, and spur PvP competition. But it didn't work, so they went with this event, which is, in my opinion, a freaking awesome smash hit success.
Very big success, yes.
Yeah. So, like everything in life, sometimes you gotta crack a few eggs to make an omelet and squish some lemons to make some delicious lemonade. They failed on these PvP only legendary units, but in fixing their fuck up, they created.
I don't think they're dead. I think they can make them relevant. I really do. I don't think they're dead.
Yeah, it would take some massive tech in certain things. In my opinion,
I think they need to revamp them and let us go use them in PvE to begin with. Don't touch them. Let us use them in PvE the way they are, and let us test them. Really, honestly, test them.
And then take the information in our data and see what they want to do with it.
Either fucking get rid of them, or just
I'm one to say there's a lot. I know I can't say this wholeheartedly, but part of me is like there's a lot of units they just need to remove from the game and go the way of the medic and go the way of the there's just stuff you cannot really seriously start the game with and
exactly. I mean, come on, why?
And it would allow them to adjust. I mean, it would allow them to adjust the bases back in line with the modern units because, quite frankly, I don't like seeing, and I've said this before, I'm one that I didn't like getting help. I was very reluctant to let anybody help me. So I don't particularly care to see level 46 players opening up bases for low mid levels, High mid levels, fine, but low mid levels, I don't like seeing that.
You don't need to feed them.
Yes.
My whole thing about that was the workshop. Okay, if I own a tech, I should be able to duplicate it, but I can't. It's only certain user interface ones.
Yeah, well, that's because of issues within the
because of issues within the replication itself, and replication being busted as buggery.
Well, not only that, but it got hacked left and right.
That's it.
Right.
But my whole point is still, they just need, if you've got the tech, you own it, let me duplicate it. Hello?
That's what I first thought it was going to be for,
It was.
I started getting one of every tech that every tech I was going to, even if I didn't like it, I got one of every tech because I thought that's what it was going to do.
The original intention with replication was to provide just that. The ability for people to get small amounts of tech from bases and then replicate them, either through time or through coin. And that was the intention of it. And that should have gone through all of the special forces, which it didn't. All of the tech, including the silver and the gold, which it didn't. And then push on into the faction era, which it hasn't.
And more to the point, that also would have helped make the tech that we gained early on in the game somewhat future-proof. I mean, it would allow people who collected small amounts of tech to continue to have the ability to duplicate it far into the future if that tech becomes viable in a specialty event.
That's why I never did Workshop 11.
Yep,
Never did
me
it.
neither.
It always just pissed me off because here I got the tech. I can build 20 of the units, but I've only got 2 of the tech. And it ripped me a new one. I'm sorry, but it did.
I know.
No, I don't disagree.
Wholeheartedly. I mean, I'm in the same boat. I've got units and units and units out of the arse, but my tech is so goddamn limited that it puts me at a disadvantage compared to everybody else.
The only saving grace for me, I'm in the same boat, but the only saving grace for me is I've left, and most of us have left Special Forces. There's no real call for it now, and again, in a way, that's a saving grace for the team. They don't have to worry too much because those units are no longer. It only
happens on very rare occasions where I have to break out a really old school platoon for a reason or another.
Oh, I still like jerking chairs chain every once in a while. Now, excuse me, but she's fun to play with.
Oh yeah, if you got
Dara, Sheila, those two. I mean, Brother Jade just went dead. He's gone.
Yep.
I still use him, but he's got a head full of preservers in front of him.
Yeah.
And he's not the one doing most of the damage, to be honest.
Well, no, he isn't. I mean, they never really were. But back then, it was a different game than it is right now.
Hunter asked earlier, is there any specific faction that's good for this event? I think it doesn't matter this time, does it?
It does not matter. You can use all 3 factions.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. And did anybody build any Scorchers for the event? I did not.
I did.
I
did.
Did you really? Today's my first day on for weeks, so I haven't a chance to do anything.
Well, I almost built Scorchers, but I built flamethrowers instead because they're kind of like kamikaze units. They're cheap, they're easy, but they work great.
I didn't build any.
On their Fury.
I got the fire tech on my Valiants and my Bone Saws.
And
my Spartans.
They want me to talk, so I'm going to just say this. I'm doing 80% of this event on my alternate account. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh.
Champ's doing it on a mini account, not his main account.
Yeah,
mind you, I didn't
just
buy
want the trophy. That's all I want. That's all I care about.
Or I didn't build any Scorchers, but I had 16 of them in my armory that I'll be taking out.
And when they all get killed instantly, I'm going to sit and laugh at you.
I have got 80 torches building, but not to use.
just saving res.
You got to do what you got to do. The zombie missile is one of those things. I'm interested in it, but
this is going into our. I'm completely out of touch with this peacekeepers and all that shit, right? Okay, so this is going to be a zombie missile we can drop in bases. You think there's going to be a cooldown time on it or not?
There probably will be a cooldown timer, but it's instant hit and it's untargetable.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm curious to see what its area of effect is. If it's like a peacekeeper or a bullseye.
That's
yeah, that'll be the thing. Yeah.
It'll probably start off as a bullseye.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm thinking it's going to be like I think it's going to be more of like a Maverick, and it's going to be killing buildings because it's going to be pumping out the zombies. So,
or a shock missile. It really affects one, maybe two things in close proximity. But
wait, I got a question. Does anybody know if I don't think zombies can be concussed? Am I right on that?
You're correct.
I don't think they can be concussed.
But would I be wrong in thinking, because I haven't tried this since like the second zombie event, slow-mo?
Yes.
It slows it down.
It hurts them quite a bit. Cold and hot and cold are not good.
Cold and fire. Fire and ice were the two.
Y'all laughed at me for having my napalms in my base. Well, guess who got through invasion?
Napalms are fucking shit, man.
What was your time for invasion?
Godscope, hey, don't put that out there, man. Napalms are fucking shit.
Yes, they are.
Put your fucking base with napalms, people.
My invasion time was 10 minutes.
I
Don't
used
make that mistake.
napalm last year during that fucking shitty
And it was a joke.
And it was a joke. They did barely any fucking damage, and you know what I did halfway through the first fucking day? I switched them all to avalanches.
Well, like Wrong Thinker said, the fire effects that they had thought of did not come to pass. That's why they've introduced these new versions of fire.
Fire damage, rather than just bloody AoE that doesn't do shit.
KS Man of War says, "Screw my napalms, dickhead." Well, my napalms helped me get a 17-minute invasion time, whereas KS was over an hour.
Woo! Okay, yes, you suck.
Wait a minute. I have a better fucking invasion time than he does. He can shut his mouth.
I have a 0 invasion time. Oh, that's right. I didn't play. That's right.
You know, my first invasion time. My first invasion time was 12:41. I actually did an invasion time of 19 minutes with no defenders.
Nice.
Damn.
I'd share the secret of that invasion, but I can't.
Doran.
Nope.
I can't share the secret.
You can tell us later in private chat.
I'll tell you guys later. But
okay, tell us later.
All I have to say, I have to give a big shout out. I know it's not the end of the show, but big shout out to fucking Debo, man. He fucking rocks, man.
100%.
Yeah, 3 units took that invasion and rocked it.
Yeah, all you needed was the Warrig as a base defender.
Nope.
No, stop right there.
Not even close, dude.
Nope.
Not even fucking close.
Not even close. I bet you couldn't even. I bet you can't even guess 2 of them. If I give you 5 guesses. Nope.
I took out Mithra, Phalanx, and I used Argus. That's all I used.
Purifiers and hammers did well. When I had my best
Elite
time,
I guarantee Elite Rifleman was one of your things on the outskirts.
Hey, you know what? Nope.
Turn. No.
Hey, I'll give you one.
You didn't old school it?
Dogs.
Oh, you got use dogs.
Dogs.
More dogs.
Well,
You know, I had a.
Interesting.
I used that special tune and it gave me a plus 12-minute time, but then I went back and redid it with all chaplains and ended up with a sub 12-minute time.
Hey, you guys know when all the spitter zombies came in at the top there, and there's like 500 of them. It looked like just a pack of them. I set 2 bunkers up in that spot, and I knew they would get the first one, but by that time, my Spartans would lay. Every time my Spartans would land a shot, it would take out about 6 or 7 of them. So by the end of that, I still had my bunker left. I mean, my base was barely even scratched at the end of that. After I changed my shit out, I was so amazed that I got through that wave 10 so easily. The first time I did it, I got swamped. I mean, I got mowed over. But the units I used were just Debo's the man on that one.
Well, that's another one. I mean, learning from people is an aspect of the game. I mean, there's so many fucking people that put videos out all the time, like City does. And
City's a fucking crazy animal, though. He'll take the shittiest units he's got and go do what we do with fucking Omega units.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do the same thing.
And you know, he does that on purpose because people don't
he does,
have everything that that some of us have, and he's like, "What units do you want me to use for a 50 Thor vase?"
Yeah.
And they'll like
fucking banshees. And
banshees and he will too.
I'll tell.
Speaking of City, where the
straight
fuck
up.
is he, man? How come he's not on the show, man? What the fuck, man?
City's on my
little
time,
rant.
and it's almost 2:00 in the morning, and he doesn't stay up very
When I
late.
make a video, I tell people straight up, this is for high levels with high units.
Right.
I also want to
can't
say
do that.
I hope he calms down because he had a little rant in the forum.
Yeah, he was
did
pretty
not
upset.
seem happy, and I can understand his anger. But I hope he doesn't.
I missed his post, so we'll
I
talk
did
about
too.
that later.
Yeah, he was very angry.
Oh boy.
He needs my happiness.
I don't think
That would be like mixing
That would-
TNT with gunpowder.
Oh jeez.
Wait a minute. TNT has gunpowder in it anyway.
Exactly.
I was going to say C4 and
C4 TNT.
There you go.
That's some explosive shit right there. But
And and wrapped in Primacord. That's fun.
no, that's unacceptable. You get a timeout for that one, I'm
Yeah.
afraid.
Okay. You click the button
What am I
before
missing
I
not
did.
paying attention to the damn thing?
I always pay attention. I see
know.
everything. It's what I do best. And the game is still down.
Yeah, I know. I just checked it. Damn it.
I can't check, man. I'm on fucking
Add a little
potato internet.
thermite in there, and you got a great mixture.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, kicking your ass.
Thermite does fuck all to C4. It'll just burn. It doesn't ignite it. You need a shockwave.
How are you getting ideas for kick size, man?
Yeah, but could you imagine once that shit
It's an
splatters?
electrical charge.
No, you can set off C4 with a round.
Yeah.
One shot
Yeah,
will
it
set off C4.
It needs a shockwave.
Dude, you guys are giving fucking
Well,
Kickside fucking ideas for new units now, man.
A little guy that runs off the screen, drops some C4, then runs away and shoots a rifle at it.
Yeah.
No, as long as there's a
shit,
sound
man.
effect that comes in with that, he runs up to a bunker, sticks a bomb on it, and runs away going, no, 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 no.
And then it blows up, and you just see like his head fly across the screen with like.
Be like from
And as he's running, you kind of see his legs like moving in front of the rest of his body. And he's like,
Oh,
Y'all quit it now. We're gonna come up with
In all seriousness,
that's
did you guys
a new zombie. Runs up to your bunker and
Yeah,
blows
man.
it up.
Actually,
fucking suicide bomber zombie?
that would be the worst suicide bomber in the history of suicide bombing.
Someone's already dead and he's killing himself again. What the
Oh,
fuck, man?
oh no.
It's all slow, dragging one leg as it's coming.
I mean, I've heard of
closer, the suicide vest
but that
falls
takes the
off.
piss.
Oh.
Funny
No, that's
shit,
more
man.
like a zombie with a jetpack. Bam.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm waiting.
You're giving Kickside ideas on this motherfucking shit, man.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
waiting for a unit
It's gonna
that can
be
do.
next event, man, or next October. They're gonna come up with
All
this shit.
these
Oh,
ideas
the
are
ring
on
of
about
zombies to a Scud missile.
Hey, October's my birthday. What the hell? I mean,
Strap
come
about fucking
That's
10
my
zombies to a
birthday too,
fucking
bro.
tomahawk.
Oh,
I'm waiting for a unit that can use the Kamehameha.
get out.
Hold it for the spirit bomb.
Oh.
Now we've gone into fucking grave
Well, in
territory.
that case, I want to use some of that some young Poom thing.
No,
Watch
stop.
it.
Mine was a dragon.
Oh,
mine was a Dragon Ball Z reference. Yours was just dirty.
Have you seen my tune names lately?
No, we're not allowed to go to
It's just a parental guidance fucking thing on the fucking YouTube thing.
I mean, the disclaimer is here. I mean, everything on Unshackled is of an adult nature, but for crying out loud, I'm not letting you show your tunes on fucking live. You'll get shut down.
Jesus, man.
Yeah.
Next, what is this? He says next shadow unit. Mech Santa. What?
Kenya.
Oh God,
Mech
don't.
Santa. He's the wrong order. Mech Santa.
They got a Christmas event where they're coming out with the fucking Killer Slayer or something. Missiles. Fucking kill.
No.
I think the next faction is gonna or like the next like hero faction is gonna be like, I think it's the last name is like Ernips. And the first name is Adolf.
No.
Have an air unit that's feeler, a ground unit that's rubber.
No. Stop. Oh, God.
All bad. You're all
Yes, they're all bad.
Oh, there's going to be one that's Anna.
Well, I would attempt to stream Walkabout.
Lord have mercy.
Wolfie.
Okay, we should probably go back to the beginning and say, Kickside, this length of time, please don't listen to us because it's weird shit.
No, you're giving them ideas.
Don't.
They're gonna come out with all kinds of crap.
Kickside could
because of
stop
us.
listening after about the first hour and 10 minutes because now we've descended into madness.
They're gonna be like,
Don't
"Oh
we all-
shit, that's a fucking great fucking idea."
Oh,
Because
God.
you know they're all
And Champ will kick your ass just because we can't.
no. Because you know they're going home right now. They're like smoking a joint and like, oh, that's a fucking good idea, dude.
Oh, God.
That's not an image that I needed. It's not an image that I needed, poor old wrong finger sat in the office smoking a doobie.
Oh, come on, everybody else does.
Well,
it.
yeah, but that's not the point.
I think he's more the type to imbibe upon a nice Cuban cigar while sipping some single malt.
Oh yeah, they probably wouldn't have a drink too.
Yeah, I'm just going to stick with my Pepsi and be done with it.
What does this show become?
I mean, shit, man, come on, man. You know, Brookside doesn't get their ideas out of the fucking fart-driven wind.
We've already seen Ron Thicker on the show drinking beer. I mean, what's wrong with that? Now, come on.
Well, that's true.
Nothing wrong with that. It was just a Corona he was drinking. That's the only thing wrong with it.
Should have been rum.
Yeah,
Oh.
Seriously, does he realize he's muted, or is he unable to unmute himself?
Something about making all tech for legacy units available, unlimited, and able to be researched. Tech like lost, forgotten tech, and limited tech. I don't know.
I still go back to if you own it, you ought to be able to duplicate it.
Yeah, but you can't. So,
Right.
beat the dead horse with that one, and because they can't fix the issues with it, and when they attempt to, it corrupts the game and causes so many systemic problems. It is far better to limit it to what you got and just. But yes, I think they need to subsequently come out with some ways to get this stuff to repeat back into the game and revitalize the ability to collect these long forgotten techs.
Yeah.
And they've worked on it. I mean, they brought stuff back into events, they brought stuff back into bases, but again,
They unlocked a bunch of tech a while back.
Mhm. Exactly. So they're as long as they continue to hammer the point, they won't forget it, because obviously the path to creating new units and the tech for those new units will overshadow the old units and it'll fall to the wayside again. So it's good to keep it on the tip of your tongue, but don't push it too much because
Omega Phantom Tech. Omega Phantom Tech. Oh, sorry.
I know. I'm right with you on that one, honey. I'm right with you.
Omega Phantom Tech. Please, Kickside. Please, Omega Phantom Tech.
Hey guys,
Omega Phantom Tech, the fucking Elite and Omega Herald bases, for instance. That's one night that the people I said, and I'm just sat there staring at my level 20 Herald now until Kickside decide to pull the finger out of their ass and put the bases back on the map.
You know what? They put Omega.
They've done
Jug bases on the map,
Omega
quick,
Jug,
like
the
right
Phantom,
after.
not the Phantom, the Omega Sandstorm, the Omega Titan. Where's my Omega Herald? Come on.
Yeah.
They're too busy doing the Hydra.
Fuck the Hydra.
Yeah,
they put the Hydra out like a week after the last time we was able to get it in the event. Like, I mean, the next couple weeks it was out.
Hey, speaking of that, since you guys are on the subject,
hey Debo,
what's up?
Is that Debo?
Go chat.
Debo?
Debo.
Debo's in chat.
Debo's on side chat. Yeah.
Okay. About the blackout. Blackout and Sandstorm is good to use in tandem. And you know, I was discussing this with Data King earlier, but I agree with them. It is good to use in tandem. If you use
the more drones you can
blackout
put out, the better.
and say again,
The more drones you can put out, the better.
Yeah, and if you add the Titan in there too, it's just going to be even fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
Drone galore. I mean, that's what I
test
do.
that for anybody that has a blackout. If you test on a base, if you test using a blackout in a Titan in tandem, and then retest on a you know, any base, whatever, it'd be 35, 60, or whatever. Test a blackout and a Sandstorm. Just look at the differences between those two.
Really?
You're going to get more. You're going to get more damage from the Sandstorm, but the Sandstorm's on its way out. I mean, the Titan's still legitimate.
I use
out
my Omega. Yeah, I use my Omega Titan, my blackout, and 6 Valiants.
I use my Omega Titan and Jericho to do metal bases for 10 minutes repair.
I can do like, you know, the 50s for core. I put my Omega Titan, Sandstorm, and my Elite Blackout in there. And I just eat that fucking base up, and I don't even get damage.
The only things you have to watch out for when running those units in Concord
is going to be viral.
Viral hunters.
Viral and heavy flak, specifically for the black.
Viral and heavy flak because for the blackout, but for keeping your Sandstorm and your Titan afloat, you got to watch out for the hunters.
Yeah.
So my thing, the good thing about the Sandstorm is because it does hit the floating platforms and everything a lot easier than sitting there and trying to direct your Titan drones to do the work for you.
Yeah.
Over time, it takes care of them a lot quicker. But when I run mine, I use the Titan and the Sandstorm off to a slight angle, and that'll take the shots. The drones will take the fire, and then I use the blackout to basically take out the target. And there is, when I'm trying to target something, multiple click on the item. It'll eventually trick the drones to target that item. They'll all swarm and destroy it very quickly. Otherwise, the drones want to do their own little thing and fly around and target shit that you really don't give a crap about. So
now, what level blackout are we talking about?
Mine's level 3.
Level 3. Okay, because mine's 7, I think.
Yeah, mine's.
But
level
I haven't used it.
I really don't think it's the matter of level at this point right now. I mean, you're still going to get a lot of damage, but I mean, my damage on my drone's probably more because mine's elite, but still, so many drones.
Yeah, that's the thing is
and those drones
kill 6 drones.
They kill freaking vehicles so easily.
Oh yeah.
Like in Vercraft 60 with one hunter, I'll deploy 1 Fury, kill that hunter and retreat it, and then I'll deploy my Titan, my level 3 blackout, and 6 level 12 Valiants, and I'll turn Ruby on, and I'll take like 6 minutes repair time.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Because those Valiants, they wrecked thorium infused units.
I'm not even sure what level my Valiants are. I think I stuffed those to work on the blackout. I won't know when the game comes up.
But everybody needs to make sure they get their Thor and the res tonight, so they'll be ready to go tomorrow. I got all my. I did 27 65s in about 30 minutes today.
Yeah.
Roberto,
get your Basti and stuff too, man.
Yeah, that's
Roberto,
right.
if the game is not up, I'm gonna flatten you.
Flat him. It's not up. I just checked.
It's not up.
No, it's not up yet.
As soon as the game comes up, I'll be collecting my thorium.
Yeah, that's what I was
I've already
doing.
got my cores and my blah blah blah.
But
how many Shadow Ops 70s I did today for people?
Yeah,
well, I think
You didn't do any for me.
we've hit the precipice of the show. I think anyway. So
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and wrap up, and we'll throw some shout outs out there, and we'll get this shit done. So we'll start at the end. We'll start with Deja. Give me your shout outs, please, buddy.
Buddy, I'm concerned about you. I hope you get better. My shout out number one is to you, to my clan in 108, Hell's Knights. Y'all rock too. Y'all have a great event. Y'all take care. Goodbye.
No worries. Thank you very much. Dutch, have you got any shout outs, my man?
Yeah, shout out to you, Phil. Shout out to the panel and to YouTube. And everybody, good luck with the event tomorrow.
Excellent stuff. Lonnie, have you got any shout outs?
Yeah, I guess I got a shout out for my clan, for you, and for Mr. Dove and Mr. Phoenix out there that got his little step up on the old pedestal. Well deserved. That's about it. And the Debu.
Debu.
Doxing Debu.
Let's go. If you got any shout outs, my man.
Come out onto the panel for letting me on the show. Shout out to a buddy of mine who finally got his YouTube chat to word, Roberto. Ti amo, hermano. And shout out to KS Man of War for being a fucking loser.
That'll do it.
Ouch. Jesus Christ.
Oh, and also don't forget to send your
Shut up.
private messages
Shut
to the
up.
Mortal One.
Shut
Order
up.
your mug.
Shut up. I'm working on it. Shut
He's
up.
gonna get some zooms and wham whams in his backside.
That's okay.
Put in your ass.
Posters and T-shirts to be announced.
Fucking cunt. Sam, can I have your shout out, please?
Actually, how you like your chicken cakes?
Your fucking cakes. Jam.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys, man, on the panel. Thanks for having me here for a few minutes I had. And shout out to Debo. Shout out to RAV. Shout out. This is a little off topic, but shout out to firefighters, man. Good job and fucking fighting them fires up north, man. Good job, man.
Awesome stuff. Jack, have you got any shout outs?
Yeah, shout out to you, the panel. Shout out to YouTube, the assholes in 173, Raven 116.
Excellent. King, have you got any shout outs?
Nothing for my concert.
Oh yeah. You know, I forgot about Mike Honcho. He resides in 173. Feel free to go flat him.
No, I'm good. Shout out to the panel on YouTube. That's about it.
All right. Lady Honey, have you got any shout outs?
Oh, shout out to the panel. Shout out to everybody out there in YouTube land. Shout out to the millions and millions and millions and trillions or whatever that will be watching later. Shout out to all my family in 115. I've missed you guys. I'm happy to be back. And Dr. Phil, love you. Take care. Hope to see you around.
All right. Venom, have you got any shout outs?
Yeah, I just want to shout out to the entire community for sticking with this brand and this show, and looking forward to continuing on. Shout out to you and Shadow Killer, and fuck you for thrusting this upon me, but I hope I don't screw it up too much. I look forward to keeping everything going. Thrust. Yeah. Thrust! Whisper sweet things in my ear.
He loves it when Phil thrusts things upon him.
I'm not the thrust my fucking Omega.
Yeah, he does.
You done? Are you done?
I was done, yes.
You're off the hook. The rest of you fuckers aren't.
They'll have theirs coming to them.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I can't wait till something gets thrusted on me.
Shut up.
I haven't been thrusted on in months, so I might be really thrilled.
something myself earlier.
And with that, we move on.
Don't go
anyway.
trust yourself.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Okay.
I'm crying.
My final words for this evening are shut the fuck up, Godsko. Die quietly and don't leave a mess in the cupboard. Thank you, Venom. My final words for this evening, of course, any decision that I've ever made, I don't take lightly. I don't make it easily. And the decision to do what I have done tonight is one of those things. But there's no crying, no bullshit, no regrets. Just get on with what needs to be done for the community. And as long as everything's sort of followed in the footsteps that I have set in place already, there should be no issues. Of course, there are always going to be that set of peons that will go out of their way to try and make you look like the worst guy on the planet. And will now sit back and laugh because I've gone back into the shadow, so to speak. And that's fine. Let them do what they got to do. Because they're going to do it whether we like it or not. And in that case, fuck them. All of them. Haters, lovers, fuck rags, cunts, winnets, bollocks, fuck you, go fuck yourself, and all the usual stuff that goes with that. The Venom's the new lead producer. I am stepping down. I'm still playing War Commander, but you won't see me as often as you once did. I may come back, I may not come back, but I will be running the event show tomorrow, so that's a given already. I may come back and run the events every month, but who's to say what's to come next? Of course, the event show will start tomorrow at 12:30. Try that again. The event show will start tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time, which is roughly 5:30 GMT, and you can figure out whatever it is, wherever it is, where you are in the rest of the world. Well, my final shout-outs to this evening, of course, to RAV 116 and 173. It depends where I decide to sit that week. If 116's being the bunch of crybabies it usually is, I'll bugger off to 173 and have some peace and quiet for the week. But of course, to my panel, to the guys on YouTube, to Kicksai in general, make it happen, make it good, don't fuck it up. And fuck you, Chaos Man of War.